Hello, everyone. Welcome back yet again. Third time today. We are about to get live here with match three in a best of three between first seeded 82nd and second seeded DC in the Hell Let Loose Summer Invitational. My name is Avinus. I'm the tournament host. I will be your main commentator today, and I am joined in the booth by Chef, the one and only, the legend, as well as Sergeant Ramirez, a player who played in both last year's ATV18 and this year's ATV18, someone who's got some experience in the format. So thank you to both of you for joining. This should be great. I am very excited about seeing where and how these teams meet each other on Hospice, how they get started, where they go, how it all comes together. There's just so much to look for here, and we will see how it goes. So Chef's going to be back with us in a second. His game crashed, so no worries there. But Ramirez, as someone, you played on TC's team this tournament, right?
Yes, yeah.
So you played against both of these teams. So give me your impressions of what you're going to watch here.
Oh, actually, thinking about it, I did not play on this one, but I watched our games.
Okay.
Watching them against 82nd, and that was kind of rough to watch. They really knew where to place themselves. It was really scary seeing them so well thought out, so trained, and just knowing where to be and how to stop any advances, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 82nd is a team that has been kind of the kings and queens of positioning in this tournament. Um, they just know where to go and where to be. DC, on the other hand, is a team that I think did not enter the tournament with a lot of like preconceived notions about positioning, and I think they've picked up on it as they've gone. And again, you're going to have DC in orange. They'll be on your right this time, and you'll have 82nd in blue, and they will be on your left. And we are playing Hospice. This is the randomly drawn third map. And honestly, I think Hospice is perhaps the most balanced of all of the strong points in rotation. And I think that the championship could not maybe end on a better note than this map. We are just about to get started here, and we're off. So Hospice is an urban, very, very urban, very, very dense fighting zone. And it's so active and open. There's a lot of opportunities to advance and to slip through and to make things happen. And I think both teams are going to try and take advantage. So until Chef gets back in, Ramirez, I'll cast. Don't worry.
Oh,
Once Chef gets in, he'll be able to show you his point of view. But the key for Hospice, I think, is that both teams are going to need to be able to get control of the three-story building on the north side of the zone, and that little kind of opening on the very north side that's behind the hedges, that's the very top of F3 where Baker's move mark is. That is also a pretty key position for both teams. Hospice is one of those strong points where I think anything goes. For just so everyone understands, if you've not watched this before, rooftops are not allowed in this game mode. We just completely disallowed rooftops in this tournament. So you will not see anyone on these rooftops, and if you do see someone, they will get instantly kicked by our officiating and admin staff, who are behind the scenes making sure that everything goes off without a hitch here. And we are underway, and we're seeing a line of blue and orange dots run into each other. And so far, 82nd. Getting into some decent positions. DC is crossing the street already, though, on the south side. Like, they've gotten through somehow. I don't know how 82nd allowed that player to slip through the street. But it's just a crazy back and forth right now. Smoke going up everywhere. Taking a look at some of the opening scores here. Kills going in both directions. 82nd, though, an assault player from 82nd has already slipped through the line, and he is moving towards this DC outpost that I have to imagine is somewhere back here. Yep, and he gets it. So main warring goes down, but he does eliminate the outpost, and guess what? The squad leader, Bleicher, also goes down. So 82nd has already opened up the north side a little bit. Bleicher and his squad now, when they go down, are going to have to fully redeploy back at spawn. You have one player from DC in the backfield here that is trying to get active. This is Wakanda. He goes down. Jarvan gets him, so nice play there from 82nd. I know you're not watching Ramirez, but give me like a little bit of like what you've seen from, you know, in previous matches between Jet or between 82nd and DC and just, you know, all the other teams in this tournament. 82nd always feels like a team that's prepared to walk into any match.
Yeah, it seems like they do a lot of training on probably all these points. I have not seen really 82nd pull out any sort of oddball surprises. They know how to get behind the lines, which is very, I want to say, for them, practical. That's just what they do. They know how to slip in between the cracks to get by the other players and to just spring up surprises, which is just ordinary for them.
Yeah, and they do make it just look so comfortable. And as we see, the capture does come in for 82nd there. I mean, 82nd really off to the races already. I mean, that was about as good of a start as you'll see in this format against a team that's been as commanding as DC as well. I mean, I think that's the best possible start 82nd could have hoped for, under, you know, a sub 4-minute cap of Hospice. Chef, did we get you back in? Or are we still waiting on you?
Yeah, I'm in game. I just this is a new motherboard and everything. I don't have my Twitch set up.
Oh, that's okay. No worries. Hold on.
Rough to watch. They really knew where to place themselves.
There you go,
It was
Smears.
really scary seeing.
Now we're back.
Yeah, I did make it in time just to see that whole push for the beginning. So it was brilliant. It was well done the way they took over that whole area. It was
Yeah, really nice push there from 82nd. And that individual play there from Maine around the, you know, outside of the kind of chateau, if you will, was
Right.
perfect and like opened it up for 82nd to actually walk in. Now, as I say that, DC is still in good numbers, pretty close to the zone. And I think that's going to be the theme of this one, right? Like, I think the theme of Hospice is that, like, even if you feel like you've kind of gotten control, you don't have control.
well, in
You just
hospices you can always apply pressure. I mean, and it doesn't take a lot of guys to apply pressure to get another group into place to apply even more. So that's the cool part about this this particular part of the map.
Ghost Recon now hopping over a wall there. So he slips away. We're hearing a little bit of comms here. Perico gets the drop on. Oh, just a. Neither team, Jem and Perico, just shooting at each other there. Neither of them could really kill each other. Perico does land a killing blow. But now, I mean, DC still totally in this. Look at the concentration in the backside of the chateau here. Big numbers. As I take a look at the score, pretty even still in both directions. I think maybe slight advantage 82nd, but still very, very close. 82nd is going to try and establish control of the south side. They're going to do what they can. There's a single squad leader right now. I think the south side is going to be the key for DC. There's a single squad leader for this DC team on the south side. This is Ninja Pulver, a squad leader we've seen a lot of in this tournament, especially in this best of three. He's going to try and maybe get around and open something up on the very south side. And look, there's no way that 82nd really can stop him. You know, I mean, there's just way too many openings on this strong point. It looks like a player from 82nd is looking south, maybe. Oh, and Ninja drops him. And Ninja's now got his full squad spawning in south side. So that's going to maybe change the complexion of the match a little bit. Oh, but that MG from 82nd just drops 2 players instantly from DC on the very south side. That was an excellent, excellent play there. And that maybe saves the DC team or the 82nd team a little bit here on the south side. Chef, what do we got going on north?
Well, we've got some good play going down that road to the north, but 82nd just pretty much took care of all of that. So this whole top end is covered by 82nd right now with squad lead heading.
Yeah,
what is that?
Squad lead heading for an aggressive position there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something we've talked about a lot in this tournament is like squad leader positioning is so critical. Like the squad leader is by far the most important person in this game mode. Like, and it's not close.
Yeah, completely.
And like your positioning of your outpost and your personal positioning when an outpost is removed could very well be the difference between your team winning and your team losing. And as I say that, we're now seeing DC is actually getting up onto the circle, or right on the edge of the circle here in pretty good number. But 82nd does have that squad leader on the north side there, and his outpost is not there. I'll keep an eye on that. That's Baker squad. OP is not there. But if he moves it, that's going to be a telling sign of, like, you know, how 82nd is feeling. If I pivot south side, it's wide open on the south side right now.
Yeah.
And Dog squad lead on the south side just went down and lost his outpost, and now DC is starting to sweep up north side. So there's one player from 82nd left here, and then a second support player that's kind of, you know, in kind of the area, but DC with 5 full players south side here looking to make something happen. And they are also at the same time pushing in good numbers alongside the road. So I actually think this match may be swinging back into DC's favor as we see capture progress starting to come in.
The 82nd squad leader's making a break for the trench up there.
I'd be curious to see. I mean, Ramirez, you're probably seeing things on stream that I'm not paying attention to, but like, what are you seeing so far? Like, is there a theme here?
I'm also making note of that 82nd squad leader, but he just went down. It seems like both sides are tightly in the city. It doesn't look like, I mean, other than 82nd, what they just tried, that no one's making successful attempts to get into the back courtyards, and so there's not going to be maybe anything going on for a little while for like a back side sort of interaction.
Yeah, now we're having 2 players here from 82nd running in across the field, trying to maybe get in on the south side. A little bit of a scuffle happening there between a squad leader and a rifleman, automatic rifleman. Rifleman's coming in to support. So Ninja's doing what he can to hold. Remember, DC playing as the Axis here, so using the German weapon set. And we do see a full squad spawn in. So Ninja's got a really nice outpost on that south side. That is an excellent position. It is marked, though. It looks like they have a marking on it. So be curious to see if 82nd's able to deal with that. But that's an outpost to watch. And again, capture progress is coming in again for the DC team. And they've actually kind of blown it open around the circle, it looks like.
Yeah, no one's in that house.
I actually think DC is in a very commanding position right now. They've kind of flanked the south pretty hard, and there's nobody in the 3-story. You know, 82nd starting to get players back, but you know, we're about quarter capture progress, 10 minutes into this match, and DC is battling back here. And remember, I mean, there's a lot on the line. A DC win here means we do this whole thing over again.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So this, you know, DC is playing for their tournament life here. 82nd wins, it's over. DC wins, we do this whole thing over again. So DC knows the stakes here. 82nd is starting to battle back a little bit. They're at least mixing it up. We've got just a flat contest right now. But it is starting... Yeah, I mean... DC, I think, might be in position to capture the zone. I don't know. Dog has not been able really to get into the strong point and get his outpost down for the 82nd team. So, I mean, 82nd's been playing a full squad down in the zone for almost 3-4 minutes now. And now look at the concentration of DC. I mean, they're in perfect position to cap.
There are a lot of players up around the hospice right now.
So DC is really like kind of putting the jaws of life into 82nd. Like, I don't know. Like, this is actually very precarious right now for this 82nd team. Squad leaders don't have a choice. They have to get aggressive with their positioning, right? They're so short-staffed. They've got to just go in and get positions. So if they go down at the wrong time, DC gets the cap. All of a sudden, this is a very different match. Now, as I say that, 82nd is, due to some very solid outpost placement from Abel and Baker, is getting in good number. But again, Dog squad lead from 82nd still has not gotten into the zone. So the longer this goes on, the more difficult it's going to be for 82nd to hold on. They're basically fighting, 12 to 18 right now in the zone. So Jem has got to find a way into the zone. He's really struggling right now.
Yeah, it's going to be really rough for 82nd because it looks like, basically from this overhead view, that DC has 3 corners of this intersection. So 82nd has to really push in on their 1 quarter and just overwhelm it.
As we say that, though, 82nd is starting to reverse that capture progress. So maybe that big push from DC has at least been stalled. We are seeing it now go back in the other direction. But I think 82nd maybe averted catastrophe there. That could have been really bad. and Gem is, I think, finally going to make it into the zone.
He finally made it in.
He's going to get there. So Gem now getting in is also going to give his team a little bit more life. I mean, 80 Seconds been playing a full outpost down now for almost 4 or 5 minutes inside of the zone. I mean, that is definitely not ideal. So Gem now is going to be able to reinforce his team as we focus in on the house. We're going to bring the camera into the center of the buildings here. You have Sirius and Faker moving in on Major Mouse. Sirius goes down. Jarvan gets him. That's a really nice play. As we keep going, like, I really think that 82nd, like, they're blunting a lot of momentum right now for DC. Right? Like, DC, I think, knows that they have, like, a strong point advantage, or, like, an outpost advantage, or at least they did, and they still couldn't cap. So I think that is maybe a little taxing when you know that you have, like, a built-in advantage and you're still not able to do it. And now 82nd is reinforcing their team. So, yeah, I mean, 82nd, I think, finds a way to hold on there. Like, DC got very, very close. But I think 82nd's going to hold on, at least for now. But a really good, set of movement and play there from DC. They almost had it. Really, really close. Chef, what's the outpost placement looking for DC right now? Where are they located?
Let me take a look. I was having difficulty with my controls, but hold on.
So, like, 80 Seconds outposts are all basically located in Echo 3, spread out. And I'm wondering if DC has kind of got, like, a bit of a wider range of control. DC has got to be careful with this north side. A rifleman is starting to break through. So 82nd actually now starting to reestablish control. But as I say that, DC bringing decent numbers up the middle of Hospice. And let's see, a squad leader. Who is this? This is Sirius again. Sirius has been a player we've watched a lot. Sirius and Gem about to run into each other here potentially. We'll see. Sirius not shooting Gem, having fire discipline. That tells me that Sirius is trying to set an outpost, right? He doesn't want to alert. Oh, but he does kill Gem. So Sirius takes the shot.
He might be able to get Cobra if he sees him.
Oh, really nice. Okay, so Sirius drops 2. Sirius has been doing a lot of good work here. Let's see here.
But he knows that Jarvan Hill is on his way. Yeah, you got to escape that situation.
Yeah, Sirius actually just trying to run. I don't think he's like, yeah, I got my kills. I'm out.
Yeah, because 82nd's dog outpost is still, I think, kind of near that edge. So
yeah, it's right on the edge.
Filtering in from the end. They were probably afraid to bring it up a little bit closer, like to where Sirius is. I would have placed it near the second-story building that looks at the third-story building.
Yes.
Because then you can still filter in that way if you lose the third.
We saw a great little duel there between Jarvan, who was clearing a lot of corners. But now look at the south side. I mean, DC has full unmitigated control.
Well, they have a spawn point down there, so they're on the west side of the road, on the south side of the point. So they have one outpost down there and 2 on the other side.
And we have an automatic rifleman alone in the second story, surrounded by 82nd.
Yeah, we're gonna need to keep an eye on that. Jarvan does a nice job there. Really briefly, I'm gonna unmute command comms here. I'm just gonna see what 80 Seconds talking about on my side. So hold 1 second. Unmuting command comms. Let's see what kind of communication that's coming in from them. They might be using Discord, but we'll find out. So far, so good. I mean, 82nd doing what they need to do, right? I mean, they're the team that's trying to close out this tournament. They've got 13 minutes to go to close this thing out. And I think, I don't know, but I think that right now, barring this southern position getting leveraged, it feels like 82nd is in a pretty commanding position. They've got good control north side. I mean, DC has got absolutely amazing numbers in the middle, but so far, as we've seen in this match, they haven't been able to convert that into, a significant capture progress. They did it once, and that was it. So, not saying DC is out of it. They're very in this match, but so far they just haven't been able to figure out the center and capturing. Now, as I say that, there is a little bit of a weird thing happening right now. in that 82nd has really kind of given up the center, and they're really focusing hard on the north side. Just in the last 30 seconds, DC is really flushed out, and we are now seeing capture progress come in, and there's a rifleman that could be causing a lot of problems. That's NVIDIA here. He goes down, so Rubdy's still up. Okay, so 82nd maybe avoids, again, disaster narrowly there. All 3 squad leads are able to reset outposts. That was very, very close there for 82nd. DC almost, again, finding an opening, and look, capture progress now reversed. And 82nd now back in a commanding position. So DC keeps getting really, 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 really close, and they just can't seem to close it out.
It looks like 82nd's gonna have that one guy up on that north road, and they're surrounding that perimeter of Hospice, so they could be looking to just secure the area and make sure there's just no further pushes from DC.
And now DC is pushing up in good numbers. When we start, Chef? We started, what, 105?
105.
105, okay, so sorry. I thought we were 11 minutes ago. My apologies. So we're still 16 minutes to go in this match, so plenty of time. So DC still mixing it up on the south side. I think this kind of points to Hospice as a strong point. By the way, I can confirm that 82nd is using Discord for comms, because not a single thing has been said in command chat since I muted. So we'll leave it on just in case we do hear some comms there. But 82nd right now is finding a way to hold on. It's narrow. It's a narrow, precarious hold, but they are holding on. And you're just seeing players all over the place, right? And, 82nd's not even bothering with this outside of, it's our man, Gem. Gem again. He's a man with a plan, and he is going around the very outside here. And
wow.
I mean, there's no one from DC even remotely near Gem.
He's all alone down there.
He's all alone. So we'll keep an eye on Gem moving around the backside here, who's been a big playmaker this entire tournament. We're about to hit the 15-minute mark. I mean, 82nd is doing what they have to do to hold on. Like, it's precarious, but it's so far so good, right? And they're holding on. Now we're seeing something we haven't seen yet. Look at the concentration of DC on the south side. This is what we've been waiting for.
Yep.
DC has been trying the east-west approach a lot. They're now trying to enter the zone from the south side. If they can cross, there's a bunch of outposts right there. Now, as I say that, though, you are seeing the counter flank now starting to come in from Gem's squad on the south side. Dog has set their outpost on the very southern side of the strong point. So Gem is trying to outflank this maneuver that DC is bringing to the south here. But we are starting to see DC, as we zoom in on this, Blaker and his squad are now moving in great numbers, and they're going to try and filter through Scipio. Oh, Scipio again. Just really avoids disaster. Like, again,
yep.
like
Core
it's
kills right there.
It's coming down to like individual plays for 82nd that are sparing them from really seeing major changes in the match. That was so close to being absolutely catastrophic for 82nd, and just one player ends up being the difference maker. And now I think DC in some trouble here. You've got Gem in behind. He's now, I think, probably found at least one outpost. How many outposts are on the board right now for DC?
Just none.
No outposts up for DC right now. So that is a big problem. And that, with a little under 14 minutes to go now, are all squad leads down? There's one squad lead up for DC on the north side, but I mean, that was a perfectly executed play from Gem. You just have to hand it to Gem. Like, Gem was like, yep, we're hanging on by a thread. We can't hold on for much longer like this. I need to go change, the outcome myself. And he runs south. He gets his outpost up, and he just, basically seals off the south side. Now, it's leading to a weird situation where now you have a couple of DC players all the way in the backfield of 82nd. This is Core and NVIDIA.
Right.
We'll keep an eye on them. Maybe they can make something happen, drop some outposts. They're very close to Baker Enable Outpost here. Rubdy is closing in, so we'll see what happens. NVIDIA gets a nice kill there. So at the very least, 82nd's going to know that they've got players behind them. And, even though, like, look at this. It's really weird. Like, 82nd trying to establish a box out, but there's still like 5, 6, 7 players from DC on the very backs. Like, it's so weird, right? Like, you have a bunch of players in the back here.
Right.
And it's not quite secure for 82nd. Like, they've pushed up a high line. They're trying to establish the box out, but it's just not quite secure yet. And there's still a squad leader up for DC that could be a big difference maker. I'm going to go zoom in on this. This is serious. His outpost is up.
He got his outpost right there. He just waited forever.
Serious.
He to get that there.
He goes down, but his outpost is still up. So if DC can hold on, I mean, they are the only hope that DC has in the zone is this outpost.
Players coming up.
DC has got... Oh, and it goes down. A grenade.
Damn.
A grenade gets the outpost, and DC now in a lot of trouble. 12 minutes to go in this match. There is not a single squad lead for DC up inside of the zone. They've got one that's just crossing the line right now. You've got four... Oh, no. I'm sorry. I thought the outpost went down. I thought I saw the outpost explosion. That outpost is still up for DC. So Sirius is still alive. I apologize. I did not see what I saw. So Sirius actually keeps his outpost up. It looks like it got eliminated there with the grenade. So DC's still very much alive here. I apologize. 11 minutes and change to go. Sirius is carving out a little bit of a part of the map here for his team. And they're actually mixing it up quite nicely. A bunch of players from 82nd go down.
How much minute? 6?
Waiting for time confirmation here. I'm not sure if there's 11 or 6 minutes left. Jem just said, is there 6 minutes left? And now I'm thinking, wait, maybe there is 6 minutes left. So we started stream just before. Actually, you know what? I think it is 6 minutes because we started stream at 1. Yeah. So I apologize. Keep saying 11 minutes. We're all over the place. 6 minutes to go in this match. Guaranteed.
In eternity.
In eternity. So Ramirez, what have you seen so far? I mean, this has been a crazy match.
I've seen some, at least just tactical box outs, not an actual box out. They were just mainly controlling 82nd. Their section of the map. DC had their 3 corners of the intersection, and then just a few moments ago, it looked like 82nd was going to control Hospice, like the actual building and its courtyard behind it. But Sirius, he had his waiting game, and he won that, and he put down his outpost, and we have DC spawning near Hospice building.
And they're getting capture progress.
Yeah.
DC actually capturing here. I mean, it's a precarious cap. I mean, they don't have a lot of numbers backing it up, but it just maybe spooks 82nd like a little bit, right? Like,
yeah, it looks like 82nd just spawned in 3 people right there, and so they're just running for the circle. They're just going for it.
5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes.
We just got confirmation. 5 minutes to go in the match. I apologize for the mistimings there. Night almost. Oh my goodness. Night was maybe 2 feet from knocking out the outpost on the very north side. That could have been a big play for DC there. That could have been a massive play for DC. It looks like 82nd has said F the box out. Like, I think they're just giving up on that plan. I don't think that was the one. It's really going to be interesting here. With 4 minutes and change to go, DC has found a way to break this thin line. And I think 82nd is got to be careful. Like, Dog Outpost is doing what they can on the south side, and that is tying up a full squad of DC on the south side. That's good. But at some point, I do feel like Gem is going to need to collapse into the strong point. Because now, look, DC is moving in good numbers. And I just have to point out, we saw an absolutely wild match on Hospice between DC and Exodus 4 weeks ago, where Exodus pulled out the game at the very, very end from the side that they're attacking from. So DC really's got to be, thinking offense here with 4 minutes to go, a little under 4 minutes. I just think that it's a thin line for 82nd. All it takes right now is like one good forward push from DC, and I think they're in business. I think this is not where 82nd wants to be with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go, with the tournament itself really hanging in the balance.
True, this could swing in no time if DC collects themselves and pushes that point.
They're right there.
They're right there. There's a lot of players there. They have enough players to do it. I mean, with decent shooting, and they do shoot well. They could turn this around really quick.
And I'm seeing nice use of smoke right now.
5 minutes, guys.
This is really good use of smoke. I mean, this, you got to think for both teams, right? Like, 82nd is 2 minutes and change away from closing out a tournament, right? They're that close to closing out a tournament, where DC is like, we've got to win so we can do this all over again. So I do think maybe there's a bit of fatigue setting in. I know that both of these teams, or at least 82nd, played a 50v50 prior to playing this entire best-of-3 series. So there could be a little bit of fatigue setting in for both teams. It'll be something to keep an eye on as we get to the last 2 minutes. But, you know, DC is still right there. DC can break through at any moment here. There's a massive opening on the north side. They've got the numbers. DC is going to try and break through here and maybe send this to a second best-of-3. And 82nd is going to do everything they can here to hold on for dear life. You knew it would come to this, right? 2 minutes to go. Both teams fighting right on top of each other. It's anybody's game. You know, it wasn't going to end any other way. And I have to say, props here to 82nd. You remember how I mentioned a couple minutes ago, when is Gem going to just abandon this outside and collapse? He's now done that. So Gem has now moved right up on the strong point, realizing that he just wants to close this thing out and go home. And with a little over 90 seconds to go, 82nd is this close to putting a cap on this tournament. And
they just added a whole squad just spawned into the north and just kind of collapsed anything that's going on up there by the road.
I mean, and it's not over. DC still has the numbers. We saw a nearly 5-minute overtime in match 1 between these two teams. That was just the perfect, you know, couldn't go any better. But I do think right now DC is in a little bit of trouble. I don't know if they have enough players in the right positions to make something happen. We need to see a lot of great individual plays here from the DC team for them to get capture progress. We've got 60 seconds to go. And DC is starting to get more numbers in, but I don't know if it's enough. We're going to focus in on the circle here. Really, really good concentration of 82nd players just trying to stay alive. They're in the circle. As we zoom in on this, you can see DC has got to go all in here. 40 seconds to go.
Rifleman up there just got rid of the OP. 82nd did.
Yep, and I think that could maybe spell disaster. I think that could maybe be it for this DC team. You know, they've got good numbers now. I mean, there's 6-7 of them trying to cross, and we are seeing a little bit of capture progress with 20 seconds, but I just don't know if it's enough. 15 seconds to go here. Is 82nd Airborne going to be our champions? 10 seconds. If 82nd holds on here with 10 seconds to go, 82nd Airborne are going to be our Hell Let Loose Summer Invitational champions. 3 seconds, 2, 1, game. 82nd holds on. They show us why they are the #1 seed in this tournament. They fought all the way through the bracket, all the way through the winner's bracket, and they are your Hell Let Loose Summer Invitational 2021 champions. And for Gem and 82nd, this is going to feel really good. I think they felt like they were the strongest team in last year's tournament. They kind of had a tough personnel situation occur in the playoffs, and they kind of got stuck in their semifinal. They felt like they had it and that it just slipped away from them. And look, a year later, almost exactly to the day, 82nd comes through and they deliver the championship and the tournament win for them. I mean, that was just excellent.
Brilliant game.
Like a perfect payoff.
Yeah, I mean, for 82nd, that is the culmination of, I think, a year of planning and excitement about this format. And they did it. And I think you just got to give them credit. That was amazing. And I want to shout out DC. DC, remember, dropped into the losers bracket in the first place because they lost to 82nd in the round of 16, right? And then so DC fought all the way through the losers bracket. They won losers round 2, losers round 3, losers round 4, losers round 5, losers round 6, getting all the way to the losers round final against RO last weekend and won to get themselves back into the rematch with 82nd. They send it to a full 3 matches in the best of 3, but 82nd bests them. But that was just an incredible performance from DC in the tournament. They played more matches than anyone in this tournament by a wide margin. I mean, they were just excellent. So major shout out to the DC team, Clippy, everyone over there, Ninja Pulver, Bliker, all you guys. Really, really excellent performance in this tournament. And I have to mention a fun fact here. With 82nd now winning this, they are our undisputed format champions. And 82nd and DC are actually going to be teaming up in the upcoming HLL seasonal sponsored by our good friend Heidegger. And I think it's partly because they made friends during the tournament. So that feels good.
Brutal.
And they're actually, in just a couple of weeks, they're going to be playing together against other teams in Hell Let Loose in a 50v50 setting. So, I mean, both of these teams can shoot with the best of them. I think both of these teams are teams to watch. Really, really impressive performance. That's all I got to say. This was just really, really fun. Thank you to everyone for joining us for this tournament. That is a wrap and a cap on it. We've played 38 total games in this tournament. Many of them went to 3 matches. Well, I mean, we got pretty close to 100 total matches over the course of the last month. It was really fun. It was really exciting.
Fantastic.
And we saw it all come to a close there as 82nd and Gem close out DC in a crazy third match on Hospice, and they take the series 2-1. My name is Avanis. I hope to be joining you again soon for more action in the 18v18 format. Thank you, Chef. Thank you, Sergeant Ramirez, and we will see you all soon.
Right on. It's a great day.
Yeah.